Now let's move on to our final main topic today, guys. And our final main topic today gets submitted to us by Advantage Sharma, who writes, "Hi, John. Greetings from India." Well, thank you so much, man. "I am dying to ask one thing. Why do shows like Game of Thrones, The Crown, etc. have different directors for different episodes? Can't just one director run the whole show?" All right. Thanks a lot for the question. And we seem to have a very anxious person in the class. Aaron, you want to field this one first?
Yes.
Go
man,
for
please.
it.
I'm so excited about this question. Thank you for sending it in, Advantage Sharma, because I love talking about the way that television is set up. Okay, so here's how it goes, and we're going to make this really quick. We have 3 episodes. John's directing the first one, I'm directing the second one, and Robert is directing the third one. So while John is directing episode 1, I am going to be in pre-production for episode 2. That means I'm going to be doing location scouting with our location people. I'm going to be viewing audition tapes or actually sitting in the room doing castings. I'm going to be sitting with the producers and with the writers doing tone meetings. I'm going to be in 2 weeks while he's filming of pre-production. Then, while I am filming my episode, while I'm actually like right there with the actors and the crew and we're actually getting it done, John, having finished his episode, will go into post-production, which means that he is going to be doing edits. He's going to be working with the editors on color correction and sound and all the other kind of fun stuff. He's going to be wrapping it all up for his episode. Meanwhile, while I'm still filming my episode, Robert will be in pre-production, which we've already gone over, for his episode number 3. Then, when Robert is filming his episode number 3, I'll go into post-production. And that's the reason why you have rotating directors. It's not uncommon to see a director who's really familiar with the show and has been hired multiple times to do multiple episodes within one season. Sometimes, especially in a network series that has 22 episodes, it's not uncommon for them to do even up to 3 episodes in one season. But the reason why you have directors changing is so that the show can keep on running without having to take any pauses for the very essential steps of pre-production and post-production. There are some shows that go away from this model, such as Mr. Robot, in which Sam Esmail, who, by the way, I used to do all of his student films at AFI. So Sam, why was I never on Mr. Robot? I don't understand, but you did hire Tom, so I appreciate that. So what Sam does is he writes the entire season and then he films the entire season as one big movie, which I cannot even wrap my brain around, but it's incredible. And he directs every episode. So that is a separate thing, but that's basically why we have different directors for television.
Well, might I add to that? That was a model, too, that pretty much was ongoing since the beginning of the television age. And it had to do with the amount of shows they would shoot a season. Like, for instance, Star Trek The Next Generation, 26 episodes a season. Now, the landscape is changing. Over the last, because of things like HBO, they would do 10 episodes. True Detective, for instance, Cary Fukunaga directed, I think there was 7 episodes of True Detective, and like Mr. Robot, shorter seasons. So they can approach these shorter seasons like a film. And like Aaron just said, by the way, that was an outstanding explanation of why there are multiple directors.
And Deborah Chow is going to be doing all
and Deborah Chow's going to be doing, because they're only going to do like 6 episodes of the Obi-Wan series, which makes sense now. The whole Mandalorian and the whole, well, we can get into that later, but it's because of these shorter times, they're making these now like they're making movies. And so it's different. But for series that are longer, yes, like Aaron said, you're looking at how long? 16 weeks, 20 weeks, 30 weeks, 40 weeks of production. And there's no way one person could ever direct a 26-episode season of TV. But now it's smaller.
You don't have the episodes written that early. Like a lot of times with these shows like Mr. Robot, you have the entire season is written in advance before you start shooting. So any scene that takes place in that location, you know that well before the show even starts filming. When you work on a show like Blue Bloods, for example, when you're shooting episode 8 of that season, episode 12 is just being like thought of. They haven't even written that episode yet. They don't even know where the locations are going to be. So that's another thing.
And one other key thing, and that was a great explanation, by the way, about the process of that. The one other thing you got to keep in mind too, and this is a huge differential thing that has come up before on the show, and that is this. In the world of movies, the director is your engineer. The director is the shipmaster. The director is the one who's kind of most responsible for everything that's going to happen.
And has usually most of the say. Maybe not final say, but a lot of say in all the decisions.
Right. They are other than the producers and the people on the show, they are the most powerful person on that movie. In television, that is not the case. In television, it's the showrunner or the lead writer, or however you want to put it. And the reason that the writers are more in control is specifically because of what Aaron was just laying out, is that the director is only going to be there for one or two things. They're not overseeing the whole thing. The writers are the ones who are determining where the show is going, and then they get in individual directors to come in and do their individual spots as the show rolls on. So that's the process. So yeah, we are seeing, because of what Rob brilliantly laid out, the whole idea that we're getting much shorter seasons. So you're going to see now every once in a while, as a matter of fact, I think didn't the last season of Mindhunter, was that the last season all directed?
No, Fincher directed like 3 episodes.
But I'm thinking there was another show that just had a new season that also. So you do see that it does happen, but it's still the rare occurrence. And what these two guys said is exactly why.
Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
And also going into your point, the director of the pilot or the first episode, depending on whether or not they shoot a pilot, that director is really the most that director is the one who has the most say, and that usually a show will hire a very high profile director because that director is really going to set what the entirety of the show in perpetuity will look like.
Yep.
And that is why the director of the very first episode, whether or not they ever do another episode ever, if you directed the first episode of Friends, you don't ever have to direct another episode ever again. You will get paid residuals for every episode ever shown. Reason why, you set up, okay, this is how the show is going to look. And every director after you has to follow that model. And there's usually a, quote, producer director. And the role of that producer director on every show is to make sure that the incoming guest directors know, okay, these are the types of shots that we like to do. We don't do any handheld. We don't do any pans. We don't do any rack focus. This is how our show is shot. You have to stay within the confines of this box. And then you can play all you want within that, but you don't have a lot of leeway to just do whatever you want to do. That's not how it works in television.
All right, guys, question is, what do you think about it? Does that all make sense for you guys? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys.